So, welcome to another live stream, guys. So we had 8:30 a.m. CPA news event. So now market is at all-time highs. So we have 3 more minutes for the opening session. So I plotted this gray zone on a 5-second chart. This is a volume balance on a 5-second chart. I don't understand. Even my take profit has hit so many times. I think there is a glitch with trading view. Yeah. So finally, my take profit is triggered. So I want to take the same trade, but two times I lost it. So finally, recovered everything. So this is the 5 second chart volume balance, guys. Five-second chart, you see this is the first presented fair value gap. Uh, we have this bearish fair value gap on 1 minute chart. So you can see price took the support from this 25% quadrant level. So this is the 1 minute suspension block. So if price closes above this suspension block, then my next target would be 50% of this wick. So we have our first presented fair value gap on a 1 minute chart. So it looks like we have closed above this suspension block. So the next target would be 50% of this wick. Again, we had a divergence between ES and Nasdaq. Nasdaq made a lower low, whereas ES made a higher low. You can see the price taking support even on this 5 second first presented fair value gap. Like I said, the next target would be 50% of this wick. So we reached that. Now we have to see whether we'll have a rejection from here or whether we'll see any continuation. So if we are going to see a rejection from here, I want to see price close again below the suspension block. Then I will be targeting this 50% level of this bullish fair value gap. Again, we can see we had a divergence with ES. ES made a, we can say, higher high, whereas Nasdaq made a lower high. But it looks like we are consolidating around this 50% level. It looks like we are going all-time highs, guys, all-time highs. So we don't have any previous PDRS. This thing. So now we are in open territory. So we don't have anything to cling on. So far, still we are seeing this divergence between ES and Nasdaq. ES made a lower high, whereas Nasdaq made a higher high. But we have to see whether this divergence will hold on or Nasdaq will just shoot to the stars. So if we again close below this 50% with the body, so if we want to remain bullish, I don't want to see price coming back below this 50% level of this wick. We already took our first trade, guys, right into this 5-second volume balance. So this was our first trade. So for the price to remain bullish, we want to see price stay above this 50% level of this wick, this 50% level. So we want to see price remain above this 50%. So price should not close below this 50% with the body. You can see ES is weak. ES is, has already closed below this bullish fair value gap. So it looks like It is looking like we might close below this 50% level with the body. In that case, price might be coming back into this bullish fair value gap. So let me plot those levels. That is the case, I would be targeting this 50% level, guys. So we still have 3.5 minutes for the closure of this 15-minute candle. So for the price to remain bullish, we want to see this candle close with the body above this 50% level. If this candle closes below this 50% level with the body, then the chances are price might come back and visit this 50% level of this bullish fair value gap. So 3 more minutes for the candle closure. So you can see currently price is consolidating. You can see this price action just back and forth and overlapping candles. So this kind of price action is nothing but consolidation, guys. The market makers are building liquidity here. You can see ES is relatively weak when compared to Nasdaq. We already had divergence on a 5-minute chart. ES made a lower high whereas Nasdaq made a higher high. So we had this divergence on ES and Nasdaq. But for the divergence to remain valid, we want to see a shift in market structure and a closure below 50% of this wick. So we still have 2 more minutes. Closure of this 15-minute candle. So this closure will decide whether we are going straight to upside or whether we are going to retrace and come back into this 50% of this bullish fair value gap and then shoot back up. So the closure of this candle is very important. We are approaching this 50% level. So we have 1 more minute before this 15-minute candle closes. So 25 more seconds for this candle closure. So the quadrant levels I plotted the quadrant levels on this 15-minute wick and quadrant levels on this bullish fair value gap. So the candle closed above 50% of this wick, guys. So far, the candles are struggling to close, put a body above this wick. Whereas now ES is looking relatively strong when compared to Nasdaq. You can see ES is pumping high. So currently price is still in consolidation, guys. I want to see some kind of fair value gap. Until then, I'll not be trying to take any trades. So we want to see some kind of bullish fair value gap for the price to remain bullish. So this is just consolidation, guys. You can see the candles are just overlapping back and forth, back and forth. Again, this candle is struggling to put a body above this wick. You can see now we had this immediate rebalance on a 15-minute chart. You can see this wick. If we lose this bullish fair value gap, then price might come into this 50% level of this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Short is the candles are struggling to close, put a body above this wick, and we closed again below 50% of this wick. And we had this huge fair value gap. So like I said, if we lose this bullish fair value gap, the next target would be this. Let me mark this with the dashed line. So the next target would be this 50% of this bullish fair value gap. And also we have this first presented fair value gap on a 1-minute chart. So now we are in the macro window, guys, 9:50. We crossed, so the time is now 9:50. So in the macro window, we anticipate some kind of manipulation or expansion. So I'm currently anticipating this Judah swing coming back and taking out the swing low. Again, this is not looking good for the shorts, guys. You can see the bodies of the candle are respecting this suspension block. So I'm not sure whether price will come down or not. We have to wait and see. If price again closes below this suspension block, then we can target our bullish fair value gap 50%. But for that, price should close below this suspension block, guys. So for prices, yeah. So this is what we want to see, close below this suspension block. But here price is consolidating inside the fair value gap, this bearish fair value gap, suspension block. So we came back into this bearish fair value gap. We are still inside this bearish fair value gap. For the bearishness, at least retracement to continue to the downside, we want to see a strong rejection inside this bearish fair value gap. So far we can see the bodies of the candles are failing to close above this bearish fair value gap, so which is a good signature, so that we can hold our short positions. So now we want to see this candle close below this suspension block, so then only price will come down into this. But still price even hasn't come into this first presented fair value gap yet. So I'm anticipating price to come down at least into this first presented fair value gap. So we still have 5 more minutes for the 10 a.m. open. So we want to see a closure below this suspension block. If price closes above this 50% level of this wick, then I'll be killing my trade, because then we are no longer bearish. So as long as price remains below this 50% of this wick, I'm still bearish. Bearish in the sense only a retracement into this bullish fair value gap. So we have 3 more minutes for the 10 a.m. opening. So we have 2 more minutes. But this is a very good rejection, guys, from inside this bearish fair value gap. Now we want to see further candles close below this bearish fair value gap. We have 1 more minute. So for the intermediate bearishness, we want to see a rejection again from this 50% level of this wick. It looks like we are going north, guys. I think the price is not going to give us any kind of retracement. It is going north. So we have to look other opportunities on the bullish side. So now that we closed again above this 50% level, so finally we are closing above this wick with the body. It looks like again price is struggling to close above this wick. If price is again coming back below this 50% level, guys, it's problematic for bulls. Trade very carefully, guys. Today, Friday. So we want to see a closure above this wick with the body. The price came back into this 50% of this wick. So still we don't have a closure of the body above this wick yet. Price is struggling to put a body above this wick. But we can see till now we did not have any kind of first presented fair value gap after 10 o'clock. So this means that still there is scope for manipulation, because if you see this first presented fair value gap after 10 a.m. It means that we are expanding. But this is good now. We engulfed this bearish fair value gap with the body, and we are above this wick. But still, the candle, this is looking good, guys. Now we have a good closure above this candle wick, and even this candle wick also. So this entire candle was manipulation. You can see there is no body at all for this candle. So if you remove this candle, you can see this candle came back into this candle. So this was an immediate rebalance. So if you draw the projections from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. candle, so price is still struggling to close above this wick, guys. So 580 would be my target if price goes closes above this candle. 580 would be my first target. But I'm seriously not happy with the way the price action is progressing. The candles are struggling to close above this wick. Still now, we don't have a closure. So we had this first presented fair value gap after 10 a.m. So far, you can see the bodies of the candle remained below inside this bullish fair value gap. So we want to see this candle again close above this. So this is a good, decent signature, guys. So again, let me plot the expansions from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Right? Yeah, 9:30 candle. Not this. So 9:30 to 10 a.m. Yeah. So this would be my first target, half standard deviation. So let me plot and take my target here. Okay. So far on a 15 minute, on a 5 minute chart, we had a decent closure above this wick. But this is the worst price action, guys. Clear expansion. See again closure below this first presented fair value gap. Price again coming back into this. This is not a good signature. We want to see expansion away from this first presentation. So you can see price again came back into this first presented fair value gap and this. So let me put this with another color, maybe blue. So this was the first presented fair value gap after 10 a.m. So we can see that price is constantly coming back into this first presented fair value gap, but failing to expand. So we want to see an expansion from this fair value gap place. So let me plot the quadrants on this wick. Uh, okay. So we closed above 50% of this wick. So that is a good signature. So now we want to see price remain above 50% of this wick and expand into a target. This is the first half standard deviation, 580 level. So we want to see price remain above 50% of this wick. So now we want to see price remain above 50% of this wick. So far we are seeing strength even in ES. So we had this 15-minute candle closure above this wick and above even this wick. So which is good. So price is again coming back into this first presented fair value gap post 10 a.m. So we can see price has come so many times inside this first presented fair value gap, but we did not see any kind of clear expansion with the fair value gap. So this is not a good signature, guys. So we want to see an expansion once price hits this bullish fair value gap. So price again came back into this first presented fair value gap. So we took out this liquidity below the swing low. So far we can see the bodies of the candles are remaining inside 50% of this bullish fair value gap. You can see the bodies of the candle are inside this 50% of this bullish fair value gap. But we want to see an expansion, guys. We want to see an expansion from this fair value gap. So now we want to see a closure again above 50% of this wick. So far again we can see the bodies of the candles are staying above this bullish fair value gap. So the wicks are doing the damage, but the bodies are still staying above this bullish fair value gap. But we want to see an expansion and create a bullish fair value gap. We took out this entire liquidity. So I'm reversing my trade, guys, because we see price closed below this first presented fair value gap after 10 a.m. So if price again closes above this first presented fair value gap, so as long as we are below this first presented fair value gap, we can still look for short positions. If price again comes back and closes above this first presented fair value gap, then we should be looking for longs. So if we want to remain bearish, I don't want to see this kind of overlapping price action, guys. I want to see clear expansion with the fair value gap. But this kind of overlapping price action is not good. So now we want to see some kind of fair value gap form, guys. So now we want to see a closure below this 50% level of this wick with the body. So we have 2 more minutes for this 15-minute candle closure. So I want to see a closure below 50% of this wick, guys. I told you right, if we are seeing this kind of overlapping price action, it is not good for bearishness. We wanted a clear expansion with a bearish fair value gap. But again, we can see on a 15-minute chart, we created equal lows. ES is looking relatively more bearish when compared to Nasdaq. So we are still having equal lows on 15-minute chart. So now we want to see expansion. This is what I mean, expansion, because we have done all the manipulation and we have consolidated for long enough. So I wanted to see expansion. So now we want to close below this suspension block, guys, on the 1-minute chart. If we close below this, it will become a balanced price range and then we can look for further short positions. We still have liquidity below the swing low, and this is our first presented fair value gap post 9:30 a.m. So now that we have closed below this 50% of this wick with the body, I will adjust my stop loss. So we had a very good rejection from this quadrant level. But we want to see a closure below this suspension block, this gray zone. So as long as price remains below this bearish fair value gap, we can look for short positions. If price closes above this bearish fair value gap and above this 50% level of the wick quadrants, then so we had a decent rejection from this 50% level of the wick. So now we don't want to see a closure above this bearish fair value gap. This is again not looking good, guys. Again, this bearish fair value gap being engulfed again. So this is not looking good for the shorts. Looks like we are reversing again. If we remain above 50% of this wick, reverse my position, guys, because again we came back and closed above this 50% of this wick. So now we are inside this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So for the price to remain bullish, we want to see a closure above this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So we are still inside this bearish fair value gap on a 5-minute chart. So this is the bullish fair value gap which we engulfed previously. So now I want to see price close above this so that we can reclaim this bullish fair value gap and then expand to the upside. This is Friday, guys. Trade with less leverage, trade with less size. You can see the price action, right? Complete back and forth price action. So it is tough to read the price today when compared to the other days. So just be cautious about your lot size. So now we want to see a closure above this bullish fair value gap so that this will become a reclaimed bullish fair value gap. Then we can target our half standard deviations. Is, this is the 9:30 and this is the 10 o'clock. So if you plot the extensions, you will get your half standard deviations here. So this is the first half standard deviation. So that is the reason So if we plot the fib extensions from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., so this is the first half standard deviation, which is around 580.25. So that is the reason I'm putting my take profit here. So we almost closed above this bullish fair value gap. So 10 more seconds, guys, for the closure of this candle. So now we can see expansion, because we have done all this this consolidation, this manipulation into the sell side liquidity, and then we are expanding. So this candle closed above this bullish fair value gap. So this should act as a reclaimed bullish fair value gap now. So now we should start expanding to the upside. So I'll adjust my stop loss meanwhile. So now we want to see price remain above 50% of this bullish fair value gap. So now we are inside this 1 minute bullish fair value gap. So we want to see price remain above 50% of this bullish fair value gap. So I'm plotting quadrant levels on this 5 minute wick. So for the price to remain bullish, we want to see again a closure above this bullish fair value gap, and then close above 50% of this wick with the body. So I want to see remain price above 50% of this wick, this 15-minute wick. So now price is again inside this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. We want to see some kind of reaction from here. Worst price action, guys. This is the worst price action. So I did not like how we closed again above this bearish fair value gap, guys. This is not a good signature. So this bullish fair value gap is the last line in the sand, guys, for me to remain bullish. If price closes again below this bullish fair value gap, then I'm going to kill my trade and probably end the stream, guys, because this is just a waste of time. So this is the last trade, guys, I'm going to take. If price again goes back up, then probably I'll kill my trade and I will end the stream today. This is heavy manipulation going on, guys. Heavy manipulation. I did not want to see price actually close below this 50% of that wick. So this is the last trade, guys, I'll be taking. After this, I'll be ending the live stream. So I'm targeting this first presented fair value gap. You can see at 9:32 a.m. on a 1-minute chart, we had this bullish fair value gap. So this was the first presented fair value gap. Till now, market did not come into this fair value gap. So that is the reason I'm targeting this. The reason again I went short was we can see the bodies of the candle failing to close, or even the wicks failing to close above this. So I want to close three positions here, and I want to hold one position in case if price comes back into this swing low. So now again we are inside this 1050 macro, guys. So we can expect some kind of manipulation. The price still did not come into this first presented fair value gap. So my first partial is triggered, guys. So I'm holding one position. So three of my positions are closed. So I want to see price come and take this swing low. So let me plot the quadrant levels on this 15-minute chart. So we have 50% of this bullish fair value gap here, guys. So let me take my take profit near this 50% of this bullish fair value gap, and let me delete all this quadrant levels for distraction, guys. It's a huge distraction. Oh. So again we created equal lows here. So I'm adjusting my stop loss here. What a manipulation, guys. Wow. So that is why if you are not able to read price action on a lower time frames, it is very difficult, guys. So you should be able to do tape reading. So now we are inside this first presented fair value gap. I did not like how we closed above this first presented fair value gap. So we have 1 more minute for the 11 o'clock hour, guys. So we are in the macro window. That is why I said we can see this kind of manipulation. Stop hunts. I did not like how we created equal lows here. We should have taken this liquidity. The reason why I'm still holding my trade is price has left this equal lows here, guys. So that is the reason I'm still holding my trade. If price has taken out the swing low and came back up, I, I might have killed my trade already. So far you can see the bodies of the candle are still inside this below 50% of the suspension block. But the thing is that price again closed above this first presented fair value. So as long as price remains below this 1 minute suspension block, and I want to see price again close below this first presented fair value gap. The good thing is at least I closed 75% of my positions here. We are inside this huge 5 minute fair value gap, and we have a fair value gap even on 1 minute chart here. So we want to see price remain below 50% of this wick. On a 5 minute chart, we had a balanced price range. We can see this bullish fair value gap is completely engulfed with this bearish candle. So we have this balanced price range. Now again, we want to see price come and close below this first presented fair value gap with the body. If price closes below this swing low with the body, I'll try to add one more position. I want to see a closure below this first presented fair value gap with the body, guys. I want to see a closure below the swing low with the body. Retail will be chopped to death today. I think there will be a bloodbath because you can see this complete back and forth price action. The retail would have been chopped to death today, guys. Because if you are not able to taper it, this will not survive this price action. Even myself, I took so many losing trades, but overall, I'm still net positive for the day. Mm, See, we are still struggling to close below this first presented fair value gap with the body. Still struggling, guys. So you can see price is taking support inside this first presented fair value gap. But this is not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this first presented fair value gap giveaway and price close below this so that we can target these equal lows. So almost we can see three candles, guys. Price did not close anywhere but inside this first 1 minute suspension block. So this is complete manipulation. They are holding the price. Without tape reading skills, it is impossible to survive this price action. And you have to be very nimble, guys, with your targets. You can't expect price to move hundreds of points. We are back into this. I think price is trying to reach into this 1 minute fair value gap. So let me plot this bearish fair value gap here. So if price again closes above this bearish fair value gap, it is not good for longs, short positions. So I did not want to see a closure above 50% of this bearish fair value gap. So when price closed above this 50% of this bearish fair value gap, so I reversed my trade. You can see ES is looking already very bullish. ES has already closed above previous swing high. So I think Nasdaq will also reach the swing high. ES is looking very bullish, guys. ES is almost at the this swing high. ES is almost reaching this swing high. So I'm expecting Nasdaq also to reach these swing highs. So ES ES has already taken out the previous swing highs. Why Nasdaq is struggling is we are inside this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So we need to close above this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Price might come back and take this liquidity below this wickless candle and then move up. So this is the last trade, guys. After my profit is hit, I will be ending the live stream. Because I'm a scalper by mindset, guys. Uh, Today's price action was, you can see complete back and forth price action. It did not offer much for a scalper, but still I took few trades. Positive for the end of the day so far. So ES is closed above this all the swing highs. I think Nasdaq will also do the same. Price, I think it might reach up to 580, guys. This is the first half standard deviation, but I don't have the patience because it's already 2 hours now. I've been streaming for more than 2 hours now. I don't have the mental capital to hold for so long. So this will be my last trade for today. So ES is very strong. ES has already closed above the previous swing highs. So again we closed above this bullish fair value gap. So we have reclaimed again this bullish fair value gap. So that's it, guys. This will be my last trade for today. So that's it, guys. So we are overall net positive for the day. We made around I don't know how many thousands. So that's it, guys. So if you find this information or this live trading useful, please consider subscribing to the channel. You will get more value. So that's it, guys. That's it for today. Thank you.